Good afternoon, everybody. Chef Suzanne and I welcome you to another fine and yet final live session here in CU 122. And it's what a joy it's been, this class, working with everybody and going through this process. It's been really great watching everybody learn and expand their skills and begin to master their techniques. That's what it's all about. This is my final live session with Chef Suzanne as my evaluator, which brings a tear to my eye. It has been a wonderful experience, and I thank you so much for all that you've done, which is much more than what's required, because you are a go-getter. So thank you. Ladies and gents, as we go into finishing week here in CU 122, there's been lots of questions. Yes, we did condense the course by a couple of days. Some of the learning techniques were incorporated into previous weeks. And the reason we did that is to match up with the holiday break, and that's administration kind of moved things around a little bit, but everybody still gets all the same good stuff. But that's why we are calling this finishing week versus week 11 or week 12. You will have noticed there were some changes to the class page. We are only working on baked custard this week, and I know there was some slight confusion regarding the research materials. That has now been fixed as well, so that only reflects the baked custard, which we are working on this week. So hopefully that answers some questions. And then just to clarify a little bit, we are in the last final week of this course. So all assignments for this class will be due no later than Tuesday, September the 24th, which is next Tuesday by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. That includes all makeup assignments. We were a little loose in that department. We are kind of taking this on by a case-by-case basis. If you want to get some extra work in, make sure you reach out, you talk to us, you let us know. We are here to help you succeed, and that's what our goal is. We cannot accept any assignments after Thursday, September the 26th. All assignments, including makeup assignments, are due Tuesday the 24th by 11:59 p.m. There is a 2-day late period for this week, which will close on Thursday, September the 26th at 11:59 p.m. After that, we cannot take any assignments whatsoever. The reason is we've got a quick turn to get into our next block and get all of you into your next classes. So please adhere to that. Chef Suzanne, how was week 10 in CU 122?
It was awesome. It was actually a little difficult to make my presentation this week because there was so many good options, which I knew there would be, because there was so many nice French bread pictures, and I knew that focaccia is, I don't want to say easier, but maybe a little nicer, more pleasant to work with. And so it makes it a little more fun and a lot more creativity options going on. Plus, on top of that, you offered that extra credit. And so I got all sorts of amazing pictures, making it a little hard for me to decide this week what I was going to put in my presentation.
What a great problem to have.
It is a really good problem to have. It's probably among my new favorite problems. So just a couple tiny things that I saw this week. A little bit of confusion because this dough really did look quite different from last week's French bread. So last week's French bread was very dry and shaggy, where this one had a lot more water and a lot more olive oil. So it's much wetter dough, which I think caused a little bit of confusion. So this next one here, fight the urge to add flour. I know y'all see that sticky dough and are like, I have to add flour, more flour. No flour. In this case, sticky is okay. Only add in that flour if you absolutely have to. This one is, like I said, going to be a little stickier, a little more forgiving. Another thing I ran into a few times, test that oven temperature. Go out and buy you a little oven thermometer. They're $5 or $6 at the Walmart. So grab one of those, throw it in there to kind of get you an idea of your oven temperature. And don't forget to preheat your oven. And this one, focaccia, is a lot of fun. Don't be shy. Use that oil. That oil in your focaccia, and then especially under it and on top, that's what adds to that flavor and that really awesome texture that you see on the outside of that focaccia. And so that GBD and chewy throughout is because of that extra moisture in the bread and all of that oil. And this was a really great one to be fun and creative with. So I know I saw a lot of people saying, I'm going to make this again next week and I'm going to add this. Absolutely. Put some onions in it, put some olives on it, put some cheese on it or in it. Lots of ways to have fun and be creative with focaccia. So on to my slides. Isn't that nice? And you can see that beautiful interior, that chewy interior in that photo. And here also, nice. I mean, these look like magazine photos this week. They really kicked booty with, it's like they all took a photography course this week, Chef. It's pretty amazing.
They look great.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It looks so good.
Nice.
Because I said I was going to make this and then I didn't. And then I saw these photos and now I'm kind of wishing I'd made a little focaccia this week.
Look at that.
And because the challenge,
the house, huh?
Yeah, the challenge this week was for their extra credit was for some Italian meal stuff. So I did indeed see some lasagna, which is near and dear to my heart. But spaghetti, fettuccine, paninis, I saw all sorts of good stuff.
Wow, look at that.
Sharon killed it with her presentation. She has way too much fun. And Sharon buys a lot of grapes. Just saying, I think I've seen them in her presentations before. Sharon's laughing because Sharon's like, yeah, I always got the grapes.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Damien looks like he made a whole meal, got a little bruschetta up in the corner. Looks like maybe some carbonara or some fettuccine Alfredo down there. Margarita invited friends and family over for her Italian meal. And I believe if I read that correctly, they even played Italian music in the background.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
I love it.
And Bonnie here made, again, looks like appetizers and an entree and all sorts of good little pizza looking thing on the side. George hopefully had somebody who enjoyed this meal dining with him. So, because it sure looks good to me. Holly, another example, she made hers into a little sandwich also on top of having it with some spaghetti and meatballs.
Great job.
And look at that. If that doesn't look like an ad for some Kendall Jackson Cabernet Sauvignon, I don't know what does. So that's some of the awesomeness I got this week, Chef.
Wow, that must have been really hard to put that together.
It was, and there's some that didn't even get back to me, and I still had, what, like 12 or 15 slides? Yeah, it was pretty, and I'm still grading. There's still assignments that I haven't even gotten to yet, so I can only imagine what those look like. So they kicked some booty this week.
Great.
They really had fun, and it shows. The growth of photos this block has been amazing. From what it started out at the beginning with, like, here's my food, just going to set it here in the middle of this plate and just not do anything else with it, to now all of a sudden we've got candles and lights and tablecloths and presentation and background, you know, people and stuff. So pretty awesome.
The art of hospitality. That is absolutely wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for all of your hard effort this block. It's been really cool to be a part of it. And Chef Suzanne, I had some people that were sending pictures, texting pictures of their focaccia, which I thought was just so cool to see. So great job, everybody. That's fantastic. Way to go. So this week, let's take a quick look at what we have going on here. End of course survey. It opens up this Monday. Make sure that you take your end of course survey. It's big time extra credit. I think it's a 10% boost to your final grade. It's huge. So make sure you take the end of course survey. It is located at the top of the class page and it will open this Monday. So make sure that you take it. Hey, just like we talked about, your final finishing week assignment is due this Tuesday, September the 24th by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. That includes all makeup work as well. And there's a 2-day late period for this week's assignment, which is due no later than Thursday, September the 26th by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Following that, we cannot accept any assignments. Chef Suzanne has a very short period of time to turn around and get everything done, and then I have to close everything out, and then by Sunday morning, the registrars are back in at work. So let's make this happen, everybody, please. And then by all means, this has been an awesome class. Chef Suzanne, and I truly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of your experience here at Escoffier. Chef Suzanne and I really enjoy hearing from students after they leave. We like to know what you guys are doing and where things are going. And it's always good to reach out and say, Chef, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And collaboration is a key to success in this business. So, and I know Chef Suzanne is down there shaking her head because we've both been through it, and it's a good thing to do. Chef Suzanne, you have any advice on that?
I put it in the box. Don't be a stranger. So you may not see us in your next courses, but this industry that we are in is all about networking. So, you know, all of these students that you have all been with and the instructors that you've been with and that you will be in with moving forward, keep in touch. You know, we are an industry of networking and people that you know and experiences and learning from and working with each other. So don't be a stranger. We've met now. We're no longer strangers. So don't forget about us, even if we are not with you in your next course, which I think I'm going backwards. I'm going back to a beginning course, the next block. So you've all already been in that course. Where are you going, Chef? I can't remember.
I think for the remainder of the year, I'm going forward.
So some of you all may bump into Chef again. I'm going backwards. I'm heading back to the beginning to meet some new folks coming in. But don't forget about us. We're here if you need things. Also, make sure, keep in touch with each other.
Absolutely. It's, you know what, and, I still run into people that I've worked with 20, 30 years ago, and I will make you a guarantee you will cross paths in this industry with somebody that's in this class right now. So it will happen most definitely. So stay in touch. We love to hear about your successes. Ladies and gents, this is one of our heroes. His name is Thomas Keller. When you acknowledge, as you must, that there is no such thing as perfect food, only the idea of it, then the real purpose of striving toward perfection becomes clear. And that's to make people happy. And that's what cooking is all about. Always remember that wherever you go in your career, it's all about making people happy is what we do and why we do that. So a little piece of advice from the Grand Master. He owns, French Laundry, Percé, Bouchon, first chef to coach the Americans to the Bocuse d'Or, which is the ultimate goal of any chef in the world of culinary arts, the Bocuse d'Or. So he is a hero of ours. Ladies and gents, let's take a look at our week here in CU 122. Research materials, they have been adjusted to reflect the baked custard, so it's in there. 2 knowledge checks, don't forget, you can take those as many times as you like, and only the highest score will stick. And then these custard materials and the research materials are identical, so it doesn't hurt for you to look at them twice. Thank you, everybody, for being here at the live session, getting all this good information. And then in the kitchen this week, we are working on baked custard. And then we have the final exam, which we'll get to here in just a few moments. And then thank you, everybody, for being here on Wednesday to take a look at our live session. Thursday, read the research materials, study for your final exam, complete the final exam. Do it tomorrow. It's a great day for that. And then Thursday, read and understand the assignment, create prep list timeline, and purchase mise en place. Do that on Friday. And then complete and finish your assignment on Sunday and submit it, and you are set. And when you're all done, give yourself a big high five, because Chef Warren and Chef Suzanne are too far away, but we would if we could. So ladies and gents, that's a little bit of help to get you through this final week. Ladies and gents, how many of you get a little nervous when you hear final exam? Anybody out there? Yeah, I see hands popping up left and right. No reason to get nervous about this final exam. The final exam, you can take it as many times as you like, and only the highest score will stick. So if you have to take it 25 times to get 100, take it 25 times, right? The exam has 50 questions, and all of the questions are stuff from the knowledge checks and the research materials. There's no foreign, unheard of questions on the test. To study for the exam, review research materials and knowledge checks from the past 10 weeks. It'll get you right through there. Allow yourself plenty of time to do it. The exam is worth 15% of your final grade. Once you open the final exam, you have 90 minutes to complete it. However, you can take it as many times as you like. The exam will close at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesday, September the 24th. Does anybody have any questions about the final exam? Anybody? This class is going to rock it. I can feel it right now. Yeah, if you have any questions, now is a great time to ask. We'll be glad to walk you through it. Just remember that the exam does close on Tuesday, September the 24th, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. 90 minutes, 50 questions, 15% of your grade, and you can take it as many times as you like, and only the highest score will stick. Okay, so that means if you take it once and you get an 80, and the next time that you take it, you get a 50, only the 80 will count. So take it as many times as you need. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out. You let Chef Suzanne and I know, because we are here for your success. And then when it comes to taking the final exam, I know that there's a little procrastination that happens every now and then, and sometimes we kind of push things to the last minute. That's not a good idea with the final exam. Give yourself plenty of time. Make sure you're in a relaxed atmosphere. Turn your cell phone off. Close the door. If Aunt JoJo comes to the door, keep it locked. Let her come back later. Focus on the exam for that 90 minutes, and you'll do very, very well. Also, make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to review all the materials. It's all right there. So you can do this. Chef Suzanne and I have faith that you guys are going to rock the house. Once again, any questions? Chef Suzanne, any test-taking tips?
Don't stress out. You guys know this stuff. You've been doing it and seeing it for 11 weeks. Don't second guess yourself. You do indeed know this stuff.
Yep.
You did it.
Right.
You're here. You made it all this way. You did it. You know it.
Yep. And be confident. All right, ladies and gents, that wraps up our little talk on the final exam. Let's move forward and take a look at baked custard. How many out there have made baked custards before? Anybody? Let's see, Chef Suzanne has, Sharon has, Alvina, you've either got sun in your eyes or you have made it. Baked custard is an extremely versatile dessert. I've seen it done in savory applications and also sweet applications. We're familiar with creme brulee, which is a baked custard, flan, which is a baked custard, and it comes in a lot of different varieties in between there. Baked custard, it's made with whole eggs, which cause the dish when baked to solidify. It becomes a gel, basically, and that's because of the eggs. A flan or a creme caramel, which is a baked custard dish, in a dish coated with caramelized sugar that forms a sauce when the custard is unmolded. It's a dish, flan or creme caramel is a dish that is typical in Latin America or in France, and it is heaven to eat that. It's silky, smooth. Chef Suzanne, you like flan? Yeah.
I do. I adore flan. I absolutely. I don't know that I've met a baked custard I don't like.
Yeah. And I think the question is, for me, is not do you like it or not, but the question is how much do you like, right? You want 1 or 2 servings, 3 or 4 servings, because it's absolutely fantastic. It's a low-cost dessert. It's fairly easy to make because you make it all in advance, and the profitability on the dish is huge. So I highly recommend, learning and mastering this dish, because this is something you will make as you progress in your career. Let's take a look at the kitchen equipment that you'll be working with when in industry. This is some common stuff that we use for creme brulees. This rarebit dish over here is traditionally used for creme brulees, which will be the custard in the rarebit dish, and then we sprinkle sugar over the top, and then we'll take a blowtorch and then caramelize the sugar. So when you tap into it, it's hard, and then you tap a little harder and it kind of shatters, and that's the caramelized sugar over the top that does that. When you get into industry, in most restaurants, you'll see a lot of blowtorches floating around. That is primarily used for the creme brulee, but it's also used to caramelize or roast certain vegetables very quickly. Hotel pans. Tonight we're going to be discussing the term bain-marie or water bath, so to speak. And when we're talking about a water bath, we're referring to a dish similar to this hotel pan that you can put the custard in a dish into the pan and then add water to the pan, and that will create a nice steam bath around it, which will allow the flan to cook nice and evenly. And then we also have a chinois over here, which is a fine mesh strainer. We use this not only for stock soups and consommes, but we also use it for flan or creme brulee mix, especially when it comes off the stove, to strain any of the coagulation out of there. So it's a nice, smooth product. And then up here in the corner, we have ramekins. Ramekins, you will see a lot of those in the restaurant industry. Sometimes they will use them for small side dishes or for salad dressings, but primarily in the bakery. They come in various sizes: 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 4 ounce, 5 ounce, 6 ounce. Those are some of the common sizes. So ladies and gents, that's some of the equipment that you'll be working with once you get into industry. So certainly be prepared to acknowledge those. Any questions about the equipment? And Chef Suzanne, was there any equipment in there that you saw that wasn't normally or should have been in there?
I don't think so, because that's pretty straightforward. The most unusual is, like Chef was just pointing out, the items that you put your custards in. Maybe some molds and things sometimes for, so like the old-fashioned looking molds, like Grandma had, you know what I'm talking about, Chef?
Yep.
I've seen flans and things made in those also.
The bundt cake molds, I think they
Kind of, yeah, like those, yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma pans.
Grandma pans. Yeah. Sheila Reynolds, do you have a question?
Yes, Chef. For as crusting the creme brulee, can we use the broiler if we don't have a torch?
You can use what we call a salamander, which is basically an upright broiler in industry that sits up above the stove. It's square. It's very heavy. They weigh a couple 100 pounds. They have an infrared burner in it, and you can do that. However, that will heat the entire dish up a little bit too hot and force your creme brulee to loosen just a little bit. Creme brulee is traditionally made with cream versus milk, and the cream has a very high fat content, and when that cream gets, or that fat gets hot, it liquefies. So we don't recommend that, but you could do it in your broiler, and you will still get the caramelization. You have to make sure that that creme brulee is very, very close to the actual element itself to get that full effect of heat. Does that answer your question, Sheila? Sheila, does that help?
Yeah. Is it easy to find a torch?
It's very, very easy. Ace Hardware, Walmart, Amazon, they're virtually in every hardware store that you can imagine. Home Depot, Lowe's.
Yeah, and if you're gonna buy a torch, buy a torch. Buy one like Chef just showed in that photo. Don't go into the little kitchen area at Walmart or little kitchen stores. They got these cute little kind of itty bitty cute little creme brulee torches that last like for 3 creme brulees.
Yep.
And then it's gone. Just buy a stinking torch and a bottle of propane.
You're
because
probably
then you can
talking.
also, use it for, I don't know, fixing metal things at home. So it's just very versatile. Those little ones,
Okay.
those little ones
Thank
are
you.
awesome. You're welcome.
Yeah, you can. I think they're anywhere from $10 to $15. They're $15, $20. They're very inexpensive. So I'm looking at some right now, and that torch that I just showed you up on the screen is $27. So and that tank will last you a sufficient amount of time. I know once you get into working with other recipes like charred salsas or seared meats, that blowtorch will come in awfully handy. So it's not just for creme brulee. So it's a good investment, like Chef Suzanne was saying. Definitely avoid the little mini torches that are cute, nice to cuddle with, but they just don't work in the long run. So stay away from those.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
You're welcome, Sheila. All right, ladies and gents, let's take a look at some common varieties. We were just talking about the creme brulee quite a bit. If you look right here, this spoon has the cracked sugar on it, and you will be doing a lot of creme brulees. The average creme brulee has about 760 calories. They are loaded for gold, and they are worth every single one of those calories. in the flavor profile. And then creme caramel, flan, or caramel dessert, those are virtually interchangeable. They're all about the same thing. This particular one here is made in an individual portion. Sometimes when we do banquets, we'll cook them off in an entire hotel pan for a larger portion. And then this liquid here, like we were saying a moment ago, is we caramelize sugar and then we pour it on the bottom of the pan, let it solidify just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll pour the flan mixture over that and then bake it off in the bain-marie or in the water bath. And then when you take it out, that sauce just flows over the top, and it's a beautiful sight. It's absolutely delicious. All right, ladies and gents, let's take a look. Oh, we have a baby. Yeah. All right, ladies and gents, let's take a look at our recipe this week for baked custard. You'll notice the name is also creme brulee, so it's kind of vice versa. Don't worry about having to blowtorch anything this week. If you don't have a blowtorch, there's absolutely no concern. You're perfectly fine. The ingredients are heavy cream, vanilla bean split or vanilla bean extract. I prefer using vanilla beans. Those are available at a wide variety of places. Your grocer might have them. Sprouts will have them. Whole Foods have them. Does Walmart sell vanilla beans? Yes.
They do indeed sell vanilla beans. The last one I got at the Walmart. So absolutely.
A lot of times you can find them either in a cryovac package or in a test tube.
They're in a jar, and the ones I got at the Walmart are not in the test tube, but they're in a jar. Matter of fact, they're folded in half in plastic in the jar with the glass or with the metal lid.
Right. And when working with vanilla beans, it adds those little black specks into the liquid, and it also creates a much better flavor profile, in my opinion. So what you're going to do is you're going to split that vanilla bean. If this is a vanilla bean, you'll split it in half lengthwise, and then you'll take a spoon and you'll strip it of the seeds, and then put the bean and the seeds into your milk mixture. So you have your vanilla bean. If you don't have a vanilla bean, it's okay. You can use vanilla extract. That's widely available. A lot of people say, well, vanilla extract has alcohol in it. Well, when you add an extract to a recipe that's going to be cooked, alcohol evaporates at 176 degrees, so there will be no alcohol in it at the end. You're going to add 60 grams of granulated sugar and 100 grams of egg yolks. When it comes to separating egg yolks, make sure that you do crack your eggs on a flat surface, never an edge, because that forces the shell to shatter. And then ideally, we prefer that you rock the eggs back and forth between the shells to allow the egg white to drip away. You only want the egg yolk. In the United States of America, the #1 way that we spread foodborne illness is through the use of our hands, hepatitis A and norovirus. So we try to minimize the touching of the food before we cook it. So that egg yolk, you can rock it back and forth until the egg white has fully dripped. Those egg whites can be frozen and saved for a later purpose. They work great for meringues, for egg white omelets. So, and just as a little side note, egg whites are considered to be the most healthy protein for the human body because of their balance of all 8 essential amino acids. And then granulated sugar for torching. That is optional, so you don't have to do that. We'd love to see everybody do that, which I think would be great, but don't worry about it. First thing you're going to do, make sure you preheat that oven to 325 degrees. Chef Suzanne was talking about, once again, getting an oven thermometer. That would be the 3rd week in a row that we're making this recommendation. They're an inexpensive gadget. Walmart, I think how much are they at Walmart, Chef Suzanne? Just a couple dollars, right?
For the
oven thermometer?
Oh, the thermometer, yeah. $7, I think, was the last one I saw.
Right, $7. So preheat that oven to 325 degrees. You're going to scald your cream with split vanilla bean or extract. Scalding, I love that term. So scalding is we're going to bring it just right below a boil, okay? That is kind of an old term, and that's what they used to do to prevent any type of bacteria, but it also prevents the milk from curdling when in the recipe. So scalding is about 185, 190 degrees. You're going to start to see this little foam begin to develop on top of your cream and your vanilla bean mixture. At that point, you can turn it off. You're perfectly fine. It'll help prevent the cream from curdling in the recipe. Then you're going to, in a separate bowl, you're going to whisk your sugar and egg yolks together until pale in color. Make sure that that mix is creamy smooth, right? Don't leave any lumps in there. Don't do it halfway. Nice, smooth, and creamy. And then you're going to temper the scalded cream into the eggs and sugar until well combined. What that means is you are bringing two different products to like temperatures. Okay, so if you have 185 degree cream, and you know that egg whites cook at 180 degrees, and you know that egg yolks cook at 140 degrees, you obviously know at this point, if you put that cream into the egg mixture, then you're going to have curdled eggs, right? So we don't want to do that. So we've already creamed together our sugar and our eggs, and we're going to add a little bit of cream. That's right off the stove. Stir it vigorously. Get it incorporated a little bit more. Incorporate a little bit more. What you're doing is you're bringing those two products to the same temperature. Is there any questions about tempering? Bringing two different products to like temperatures. Okay, at this point, you're going to strain your custard. Okay, strain it through a fine mesh strainer into a measuring cup or container with a pour spout. Make sure, if at all possible, that you do have a pour spout. If anybody has like one of those plastic iced tea jugs, that works perfectly fine. I've seen a lot of pastry chefs do that. This is going to make it a lot easier for you to pour into your molds. So make sure you do that. Arrange ramekins in a 2-inch deep roasting pan or similar. Fill each ramekin 3/4 full with custard. Now, the inevitable question, do I have to go out and buy ramekins? And the answer is no. There's a lot of different things you can use, right? And I know Chef Suzanne is going to chime in on this one because she always has good suggestions in this department. But they do sell disposable ramekins. I believe at Walmart, they are made out of aluminum. They are pennies. They're very, very inexpensive. And I think for what Chef Suzanne, like $2, you can buy enough for the for all of your creme brulees. I've seen people use coffee cups. I've seen people use soup cups. 4 to 5 ounce ceramic or heavy metal container will work. Chef Suzanne, do you have any other suggestions?
If I think the best option is going to be to use coffee cups or soup cups. If in a pinch, for some reason, you don't have any coffee cups or soup cups to use, a muffin pan will work. The problem with that is it's hard to get it out. They're not as easy to work with, but in a pinch, that will work too. I've also seen some students use saucers, like the saucers that come with your coffee cups that nobody ever uses, that normally have a little divot in them. Some older cups have the slightly larger surface, and those will work too. Baby food jars work. I've seen baby food jars. So there are definitely some things you've got around your house. It just has to be something that is oven safe. So it's not going to be, plastic, but something, in this case, glass, ceramic, metal, just needs to be small.
Or buy some ramekins.
Or buy some ramekins because they're amazing.
And they are inexpensive. They're just a couple dollars each, but and they're really versatile if you like to entertain around your house. They're great for condiments, for olives, and all that kind of good stuff. So they are quite versatile. All right, ladies and gents, the next step in the recipe, you've got your hotel pan or your roasting pan, something that's going to hold about an inch, inch and a half of water. You have your ramekins or your other dishes in there. They are filled 3/4 full with the creme brulee mix. This is where I disagree with the recipe, and that's okay. You can do this at this point if you like. I prefer now to put the pan into the oven and then add the water and then cover it up once it's in the oven. There's a reason that oven racks pull out, right? So if you open up your oven, and then you can actually pull your rack out and it'll hold straight, right? Put your pan with your creme brulee onto your rack, and then add about 1 to 2 inches of water in there. And then you're going to cover it and then slide the shelf back into the oven. And this way you don't have to walk across your kitchen with a pan full of water and the creme brulee mix falling all over the place. It'll save you a lot of headache and heartache. In industry as well, we do that. We don't want to be walking across busy kitchens with slippery floors with pans that are filled with hot water. So good habit to get into now. Ladies and gents, then you're going to bake the custard until it's firm with a slight jiggle in the center. Okay. What I like to do is I like to make a fist, right? And then I'll feel right here. And that's what that creme brulee should feel like. You know, I don't know if anybody used to fight with their brother and sister when they were little. Kind of make a little fist like that. And then you're going to feel right there. And that's what that creme brulee should feel like. It should not feel solid like a rock. If it does, you've cooked it too much. It's really difficult to tell you the exact amount of time to put it in there because I don't know exactly what size container you're using. So the cooking times will vary. It's going to have a little jiggle to it. You can shake it a little bit. It'll be kind of like Santa Claus's belly where it goes ha, 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 kind of wiggles back and forth. And that is a sign that it is done. Now, when it comes to getting the creme brulee out of the oven, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either take the pan out of the oven with all the water in it and risk tripping over the cat or bumping into somebody, or you can get your spatula and just go in there and lift them out and put them onto another tray and then set them down onto your countertop, allow them to cool, and then dispose of the pan with water, and that's my recommendation. The creme brulees will last for a little while once they've come out. Please, if at all possible, when they come out of the oven, put them onto a rack, which allows the heat or the air to circulate around the product completely, which will cool it much quicker. Cool it down to at least 80 degrees until before you put it into your refrigerator. You will save the refrigerator by doing that, because refrigerators don't like high heat and humidity when they go in there, and it makes the refrigerator work a lot harder. And then to caramelize it, a couple of different ways here. You can do this. Sheila Reynolds was asking about the broiler. Yes, and you can do the broiler. You'll move the rack in your oven up to the very top. You'll turn your broiler on. You'll sprinkle it with a liberal amount of granulated sugar. Or what we often do in industry is we'll cut it with brown sugar, which will reduce the caramelization time. And that is my preference if you are doing that in a broiler. That'll caramelize it a lot quicker. But don't just put the creme brulee in there by itself. Put it into a pan, right? Take your cup, put the cup into a pan, and then slide it into your broiler. This way, when you go to take it out, you have something to grab onto. Just a piece of advice, because been there, done that, if you know what I mean. It'll make your life a lot easier. Or if you have a blowtorch, you can simply sprinkle your sugar or your sugar mixture over the top liberally. When I say liberally, maybe a 1/16 of an inch to evenly coat it. You want to hold your blowtorch approximately 2 to 4 inches back, because you don't want to burn the sugar on the top and then leave sugar granules underneath it. So you have to make a couple of passes back and forth to evenly melt that sugar. Any questions on how to make the creme brulee? Chef Suzanne, do you see any questions?
Well, I do, but it's a little different. So I figure we should approach it real quick because I know it keeps coming up in the box. There's probably some folks wondering about it also. Originally, the assignment for this week was 2 different items. It was supposed to be baked custard and eclairs made out of pot au choux. But that one has been removed. This week is just baked custard. So if you look at it, there would have originally was 2 different. You actually would have had to do 2 full assignments this week, and now it's just been kind of condensed into 1 item. So you just have to do baked custard. So I know that keeps coming up, so I just figured we'd kind of catch on that real quick.
We didn't feel as though it'd be fair to everybody for time constraints to have to push those 2 assignments on everyone. And we covered a lot of those techniques in previous weeks as well. So the baked custard was decided just to make it efficiently. Plus, You also have to take the final exam this week, and so we didn't want to overwhelm anybody with what was going on. Donna, did you have a question? Donna Montano?
Yeah, when you take it out of the water, that's so it could stop cooking, right?
That's correct. And it'll allow it to cool down. And that's when we recommend putting it onto a rack, because that rack will allow the air to circulate over the top and over the bottom as well.
Okay.
Right? And eggs are extremely susceptible to carryover cooking. So basically what we like to say is, in general, eggs cook about 165 degrees. Egg whites cook at 180 degrees, egg yolks set at 140, so we say 165 is the general number. Once eggs reach that temperature, they cool down slowly because there's a lot of fat in that dish, which insulates and holds the fat. So you want to make sure you don't overcook them because they're going to continue to cook once they are out of the oven. So be cautious. Do your best to get it onto a rack. Very, very important. All right, ladies and gents, let's take a look at our week 11 assignment. Baked custard, right? Self-identification photo. Let's go out with a bang. Let's finish this class strong. We want to see some very professional chefs. Make sure that mise en place is looking good. Remember, the more organized your mise en place is, the faster you can go and the more you can produce. And that's very important in industry. Sanitation, never drop that, right? You will hear about that for the remainder of your time here at Escoffier, because it's extremely essential once you get in industry. Custard after stovetop cooking and in prepared ramekins in water bath before baking, right? And that's okay if that water bath is in the oven with your custard in it. You can take that picture just like that. Custard after baking and chilled. Hold one on its side to show that it has set. So in other words, if you hold it on its side and it begins flowing, it's like Chef Suzanne's demonstrating right now. Yep, and it begins to flow out, that means it's not right. But if it stays in there, that means you've done a good job. Plated presentation of baked custard, brulee optional. Don't forget that. It's not required to caramelize the sugar over the top. With dessert sauce and garnish your choice. That is also optional dessert sauce. You don't have to run out and make a blueberry coulis or anything unless you want to. But I know Chef Suzanne loves it when people do that kind of stuff. So it'd be wonderful. And then a spoonful of custard to show the consistency of the finished product. Very, very important. And then, ladies and gents, this narrative reflection sheet, I know we're in week 11, but it's just the beginning. Once you're in industry, those things are going to become a powerhouse tool for you. You probably don't realize it at this point. They're probably a pain in your backside. But you know what? When you're in industry, you're going to be thanking Escoffier every day when it comes to communicating and writing menus. Chef Suzanne, what have I missed?
I don't think anything other than, I know this has come up in the chat and it's a really good question. Can you make more than one at a time? So like if you're using your broiler, you absolutely can sugar more than one. And you know, if you're making dessert for 2 or 3 in your family, you can sugar 2 or 3. Don't put sugar on them if you're not going to make them, right? So if you're going to have some for dinner tonight, have some for dinner tomorrow, don't sugar them until, if you're doing the brulee, don't put the sugar on them until right before you're going to caramelize that sugar. So don't put it on and then pop them in the fridge. Do it right when you need it. So that's a really good question.
Absolutely. Because in industry, we'll do 50, 60 of those creme brulees simultaneously. We'll put them on sheet pans, and then somebody will come through and sugar them all. Then somebody will come through with blowtorch them all. So if you want to caramelize 3 or 4 of those in your broiler all at once, go for it. It'll work perfectly fine. I just recommend that you put all 3 or 4 on either in a saute pan or a sheet pan, something that you can get them all in at the same time and take them all out at the same time. So that's very, very important. Ladies and gents, in conclusion, a couple of things that we talked about tonight that are essential. All assignments, including makeup work, is due no later than Tuesday, September the 24th by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. There is a 2-day late period for this week's assignment, which will extend to Thursday, September the 26th by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Following that date, don't call, don't ask, because there's no way we can accept any assignments, because it's a quick turnaround until the next block starts, and we have to allow Chef Suzanne to breathe. That's very, very important. Don't forget your final exam, extremely important. 90 questions, take it as many times as you like. No harm, no foul. So no reason not to get 100 on that final exam. It's comprised of all research materials, knowledge checks, 50 questions, 90 minutes. Take it as many times as you can. And ladies and gents, don't forget to take the end of course survey. We take that information very seriously. It's what we use to evolve this program. It's located at the top of our class page, and it is big extra credit. Make sure you take the extra course survey. It opens on Monday, September the 23rd. And it's been an awesome experience spending the last 10 weeks at this point with all of you, and I look forward to seeing the 11th week and the results as well. Chef Suzanne, any goodbyes?
Absolutely, lots of goodbyes, because I will definitely miss all of you and seeing all these photos. And so I said it before, I'll say it again. We are here. We're not going anywhere. Even if we're not your instructors moving forward, we're still here. So if you have questions, there's something you want to share with us, something you need to know, reach out. We're not going anywhere. Same contact information, same phone numbers, same email addresses, all that good stuff. So reach out. We are here.
Yep, absolutely. Ladies and gents, we're here to help you succeed. If you're concerned about where you're at this point in time in the course, hey, I need help. Give us a call. We are here to help you succeed. Have a great week, everybody. Have fun with your assignments. Rock the house on your final exam and get all your work in no later than Tuesday, September the 24th. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.